The most expensive presidential campaign in the United States history has finally come to an end. President Barack Obama is due to be re-sworn into office on January 20th of 2013.
Mitt Romney received 206 electoral votes, falling 97 votes behind President Obama. President Obama's victory was celebrated at McCormick Place in Chicago, Illinois. Obama's campaign officials said their Get Out the Vote organization had 3 years of practice to match their record-breaking efforts in 2008.
Let's move on to the results of the presidential race out of St. Charles. Mitt Romney received 59% of the vote, while President Obama only had 38%. The St. Charles vote for the U.S. Senate race had Claire McCaskill receiving 49% of the vote, while Todd Akin had 44%. The race for governor out of St. Charles saw Jay Nixon beating Dave Spence by a slim 708 votes. The battle in U.S. District 2 had Ann Wagner almost doubling the number of votes over Glenn Cohen. She won 63% to 33%, and the highly debated Proposition B, the measure that would have raised cigarette taxes to pay for education, got voted down 52 to 48%.
Hundreds of McCaskill and Obama supporters gathered at Senator Claire McCaskill's watch party Tuesday night to cheer on the results coming in from all over the country. The event took place at the Chase Park Plaza in the Central West End. News outlets from across the state turned out to cover the event. The excitement in the room was high, and supporters were confident they would be celebrating a victory.
But I really think she will. I don't understand how she couldn't. And I just got an email from my husband said it looks like you're going to be at a victory party.
At the end of the night, McCaskill made history, becoming the first Missouri senator to win re-election since 1980. This win helped the Democratic Party take over control of the U.S. Senate.
Democratic Missouri Governor Jay Nixon is starting his second term. He beat out Republican and St. Louis businessman Dave Spence in the election for governor. Nixon had said that he plans on continuing his efforts to create new jobs in Missouri. He is for spending and tax cuts and did not emphasize his Democratic affiliation while campaigning. This was Spence's first run for public office after leaving his position as a head of a company that makes plastic bottles for pharmaceuticals.
Proposition A passed in Tuesday's election. Voters approved the proposition by a margin of 1,154 votes. 50.36% of voters were yes to change. The city now has control over the St. Louis police and split off law enforcement duties from the sheriff's department. The proposition also affected St. Charles by creating a new position of St. Charles County Police Chief. The department will be created in 2015 and will have various requirements for the position.
For the third time in a decade, Missouri voters have rejected a ballot measure on an increase for tobacco products. Proposition B would have raised the tax on tobacco sharply in Missouri. The tax would have potentially raised between $283 million and $423 million in tax revenues. The tax money had been earmarked for higher education, kindergarten through 12 schools, and anti-smoking programs.
Governor Nixon will be limited on what parts of the Affordable Health Care Act he can implement. That's thanks to a ballot measure passed by Missourians Tuesday. The law prohibits Nixon from establishing an online health insurance exchange unless it is specifically approved by voters. However, under the Health Care Act, states have until 2014 to enact the exchange for the government, or the government will do it for them.
Residents of Missouri are done voting, but the elected lawmakers still have some votes to cast. The new and returning members will meet Wednesday to elect their own party leaders for the 2012 legislative season. Senators will meet Thursday, and Republican John Deal and Mike Lara are in the race for House Majority Leader. The parties will meet in separate chambers when voting.